Hey, what's up you guys? It's Zach with PCBros, and I'm here with another normal build guide. I know it's been a while since I've done a normal breakdown and show you how to build process of a gaming PC here, but I have a very special one for you today. This is actually our sleeper build. I'm gonna show you how you can put this together and why this might be one of the best options in today's PC market, and I'll show you some benchmarks at the end. So let's go ahead and get right into it. One of the big pros of this PC is you do not have to build it from scratch. There is only a few pieces here, starting with the whole office tower that comes with the motherboard, RAM, and CPU, which we're going to be taking apart and make sure all the parts are there, and we actually got the parts that we ordered. Here in a second, I'm going to show you how to do that. But you're also going to need an SSD, a 2.5 inch. This, it doesn't matter what brand or size, but I got a 512 because we're going to be doing some benchmarks on some modern games, so I knew I was going to need some space. We're also going to need a SATA cable. These come with most motherboards, and you can get these really cheap online as well on like eBay, but this is one of the two cables you're going to need. The second one should come with the tower. And then the next thing you're going to need is the graphics card. This is the infamous 3050 6GB. We choose this card because it does not need external power. For builds like this, it is absolutely perfect. You're not gonna need many tools for this job, really. You're just going to need a Phillips screwdriver. Does not have to be fancy like this, but magnetic tip would be preferable. And we are going to start by taking off the side panel, putting it to the side, and then we're going to take a look, because this is going to look a little intimidating as everything looks older and everything looks tight and compact. These systems were very good at keeping everything compact back in the day. And again, a good part of this build is you don't need to build it from scratch, so there's not much we actually have to do. The first step you want to do is check your RAM. We have a single channel stick of 8 is what we should have here. So there are 2 levers. You want to push those levers and then pull out the RAM. And then we should see, it usually says up here, and it says 8 gigs, and this is exactly what we want. Now, this is something that the base model of the sleeper build only comes with the 8 gigs, and you can see that that will be able, and I'll show you later that that will actually be able to game, but you can also upgrade. Keep in mind, RAM prices are really expensive right now, so it might be worth just holding off and seeing if 8 gigs will be enough for your gaming needs. So next up, we're going to have to take off this cooler for the CPU, and we're going to verify that it's the right one, which it should be an Intel i5-8400, which is 6 cores and 12 threads, a great CPU to pair with the 3050 6GB, pretty entry level, but still going to game, as you'll see later. But we just want to verify that it did come with that. So we're going to take our Phillips screwdriver, and I would recommend at this point laying the PC flat. This one is actually not Phillips, it's a flathead, so I'm gonna be switching. Flathead, so it's not a big deal. I just gotta switch. And then I loosen all 4 sides until it's able to come off. And we see the paste now, which the paste doesn't look too good, so we're definitely gonna need new paste. So what we wanna do here is there is a header keeping this tower cooler in place. We just wiggle it and remove it. We're going to also clean the paste off the bottom of this. So I'm going to get some alcohol wipes and be right back. All right, so I got my alcohol wipes. You just need tiny ones. Wiped off the bottom here of the cooler. Do the same with the CPU, and then that will reveal written on it which CPU we actually have. It looks like we got the right one. Well, it looks like we actually got a slightly better one. We got an 8500. So now what we need is new thermal paste, which if you do not have any, I will have a link in description. Thermal paste is also really cheap, as well as the SATA cables and pretty much everything else in this video. This is a very cheap way to get into PC gaming. So I'm just going to do the X method. It'll be a good amount of paste here. And then you put the cooler on exactly how you had it before. So plug it in the, well, I'll plug it in after. You're going to line it up with those 4 holes, and you want to make sure it is all lined up before you start screwing. And this just fits nicely into place. And you're going to take your screwdriver, and then doing a opposing corner method, we're going to do a couple cranks there just to lock it in, and then go to the opposite corner, a couple cranks, back to the other corner, crank that one down more, and then we go back to the first corner. Make sure that one's all the way down. We just want to screw it till it gets tight, where you feel it's all the way down. You don't need to over tighten it. You do it with the other 2 sides. and all 4 corners are tight. CPU's in. We already checked the RAM. That's right, 8 gigs. What we can do just to see it better, you don't absolutely need to do this part, is you take off the side panel here. There are some little levers to pull where you want to actually take off, well, the front panel, I mean. You take off this front panel and then you pull the lever, and this will actually come up where you can see the whole motherboard a lot easier. And then you just need these that came with it, these other SATA. So what we're gonna do is on the SSD, you see that you have the smaller one and then the bigger one, which is this. The smaller one fits into these right here. Again, I'll have a link in description for that. But when you open the package, it actually comes with 2 of them. It has one that is at an angle with the straight on the other side, and then one that is straight on both sides. It really doesn't matter which one you use. I will probably use straight on both sides for this specific build. So one side, plug in the bottom here, and then the other side you plug into the SSD, and then you go here, this other one, and you plug that right next to it. And now both sides are plugged in and it should be good to go. Now there are some things that you can do, which we're actually going to close this back. There is usually some space to put it on the side here. You can use adhesive. You can use like sticky adhesive, zip ties, anything to keep it in place. I'm not really going to bother with that right now because I know I'm probably going to be taking all this apart right after the video because this is inventory and we're going to need this stuff. But right now I just have it safely tucked in the side because it's not a regular hard drive. It's not at risk of getting damaged really. So I'm just going to let it rest there. I'm going to put this front plate back on and it kind of just snaps back into place. Do not close it just yet because after the SSD, there's actually one more big important part. I'm going to show you how to install this, which is very easy as well. But first I'm gonna have to open the box. So again, this GPU does not need any external power from the power supply. It just plugs right into the PCIe slot. This is a cute little 1-fan card. Very compact, perfect. It's almost like it was made for systems like this. Now you want to make sure any sort of packaging is removed. So any little protective things from the slots, I'm not even going to need that one, so I'm just going to leave that on. And it looks to be there's no peelies or anything like that. I think we're good. And it is a very compact and small card, which will fit right here on the top slot, which before we do that, just like any other case, the little protectors on the slots, which this one, I don't know if it's a tear off, I don't think it is, but we just lift this and I think these just slide out. Yeah, these just slide out. You don't need to rip them off and risk, at least for that one you didn't. So it looks like actually every other one is a break off one. So then we break off the one right below it too. And it's not like that bad if you break off the wrong one because you can always slot one of the other ones in its place. So now we are going to line up the GPU in that slot and just add some pressure, make sure it's completely in, and you want to hear a click. It looks like it fit in quite nice. Again, there's no external power, which makes this extremely good. It fits nice and compact. You want to make sure that the cables though are tucked more in. I would even cable manage it and make sure it really doesn't go up into that fan right here. And then you close this side, no screws needed, and we're done. We have the RAM, we checked the RAM, we did the CPU, we added the storage, and then we added the GPU to make a pretty nice entry-level gaming PC that's a sleeper build. Just looks like a normal office PC, but it can actually game. So let me show you that right now. All right, so we're gonna be doing a shorter benchmark here, 2 different games, one esports title, and one more graphically demanding story-based game, so you can get an idea of both game types and how they might run on a system like this. Starting off with CS2, this is going to be low settings 1080p, which is pretty impressive with 8 gigs of RAM. Throughout the benchmarks, we're pretty much in this game maxing out that 8 gigs. We're using about 7 right now. So if you have any other background things going on, or if you'd like to have another monitor playing videos, esports titles and shooters and stuff like this are going to be more RAM demanding. 8 extra gig upgrade might be worth it if you want to run multiple monitors and want to do multiple things at once. Is going to be the main bottleneck that this PC would be having, but it is still running just fine. We're getting well over 100 FPS. Even though this is low settings, this is pretty impressive for a really budget PC altogether. This will also be just fine on Warzone, on Fortnite, and other games like Apex. You might need to tweak the settings a little bit, and on Warzone, you'll probably, for the best performance, especially now now we're in Black Ops 7, might want to do 720p on that game, but here in CS2, it's actually holding up very well. I mean, we're not using that much of the CPU, and we could actually turn the graphics up even more to medium or high settings to utilize more of that GPU, but due to time constraints, this is the only setting that I could do. Now, I like this benchmark tool on CS2 because it is longer and it gives you a wide range of scenes and explosions, showing you in pretty good detail about what your PC can handle. And on explosions, we did drop on FPS just a little bit, but this is still very playable. Now moving on to a single player game with more demanding graphics, we're running the Resident Evil 6 benchmark tool. You will notice that the GPU is now almost fully maxed out. We're using less RAM, but this game is more GPU intensive. That 6 gigs of VRAM is coming in clutch here. This is low settings 1080p again, which is very impressive that we're still getting over 100 FPS on a game like this. So story-based single player games are usually really graphically demanding, at least ones like this, like AAA titles. Now this could probably run Cyberpunk on the lowest settings, but you might want to do 720p there as well, and at that point it might not be worth it. I personally think that 8 gigs is doing just fine, but after the benchmarks here, I'm going to go over why it might be worth doing that additional 8 gig upgrade. And although both of these benchmarks were on low settings, you can definitely crank up the settings, and it's just going to be very game dependent. When you get a super budget gaming PC like this, you're going to want to get familiar with the settings of your game and being able to tweak it a little bit to be better optimized. Because we got an RTX card, we can look into using, if they have DLSS, and upscaling and other systems in place to give us the best performance possible. The 3056 gig is actually doing pretty well and is still very affordable today, so something to keep in mind when planning a PC in 2025 or even 2026. Parts are going to be harder to get, especially RAM, and maybe even storage and GPUs coming up later. So this PC is going to be more timeless than ever, really. And if you're not too interested in rolling the dice with eBay, finding these cheaper old school office PCs and upgrading them yourself, we actually have this PC as one of our staple builds here on PCBros.tech. This is our sleeper gaming PC. Like I was talking about before, you can upgrade to 6 gigs of RAM. It is a $45 upgrade, but it could be well worth it if you saw those benchmarks and wanted a little bit more out of it. And for a small build fee, we will handle all of that and ship it to you. And because it's a staple, it has the free shipping. And about a year ago, Jackson made this video right here that breaks down even more benchmarks. Like this was Warzone around the Black Ops 6 time, and it was getting around 70 to 60 FPS. It was still playable, but that is again last year with Black Ops 6. With Black Ops 7, I don't really think the performance should be that different because I think the engine and stuff is very similar, but keep in mind this is the older version, but it still should give you a pretty good idea that this can run with the proper setting. It also ran Fortnite on whatever update was about a year ago. When he lands here right at about 100, maybe a little bit less, but it's still playable for games like Fortnite that are way more CPU demanding. And he played Counter-Strike, which I think the auto benchmark does a better job at showing you the wide range of scenes and scenarios. This is actually one of our most popular PCs because of the versatility and the cheaper cost of entry into PC gaming. But yeah, if you have any questions about this PC or any other ones on the website, feel free to comment down below and I'll try to get to them the best I can. As of right now, as the video is dropped, we're offering December and holiday deals where all gaming PC purchases come with a mouse pad and a PCBros t-shirt. So just little extra perks that you can get now. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching the sleeper build video, and I'll see you all in the next build guide.